everyone. Today is day 8 of the 21 days to finding hope in uncertain times. And the topic is about how scary the uncertainty can be. And what the fear of the uncertainty boils down to is anticipatory stress. So we're in anticipation of realistically probably a worst case scenario. It could be, like if your business is folded, if your job is gone away, if you're still concerned about, like your health and it's that you're in fear about that. Any of those areas, business, job, health, you name it, family. If you're a parent that's staying home with your kids now and I would say this actually should just be a topic by itself, which I will do, is about judging yourself as a parent who's now finding yourself homeschooling and how hard that is. So any kind of uncertainty, like this is going to last forever and I don't know how this is going to unfold. And this is what I say as a very hypervigilant person myself is I like to use the word hypervigilant as opposed to controlling, because controlling has so much judgment to it. So if controlling works for you, great. But I find that people are like, oh yeah, because that's what control is hypervigilance. And what my belief is, what I've seen in all the sessions I've done over the years, is the more we try to get control of something, the more we're hypervigilant about something, I believe it's directly proportional to out of control we felt in our life as a kid. And this is the thing about this time that's so unprecedented, is people might be thinking, oh, the corona's causing all this unrest and that. And yet, again, when things start to slow down in our lives, emotions come up. Stuff that we haven't attended to comes up. And that's there for us to attend to. So you could look upon this whole thing that's happening as part of a great awakening, if you so choose to. But stuff comes up, emotions come up. The whole busy is the new fine. If we're so busy, we never have time to just sit with ourselves and let stuff come up. And that's coming up now. Family dynamics have changed because now families are, in some ways sort of forced together in a way. And that's not always, it's wonderful, but there can be a downside to that. And that's where the judgment of self can come in. Like, it's supposed to be this wonderful family, system, instead of stuff comes up. So the anticipatory stress of, like, oh my gosh, like this uncertainty is like scaring me more than anything. So let's just tap. Karate chop. Even though the uncertainty is so scary for me, I'm so used to having a plan. And my plans have been thrown out the window. I choose to acknowledge I feel this way now. Even though this was not in my plans, I didn't anticipate this at all. I choose to acknowledge my feelings now. Even though the uncertainty is so scary. What's going to come of all this? What's going to happen to me in my life? I have no idea. I deeply and profoundly accept myself now. Go to the eyebrow. All this uncertainty, all this fear of the uncertainty. I'm used to having a plan here. And my plans are out the window. And I don't know what to do about that. Because I live in a world and a culture that really promotes having a plan for your life, setting goals, manifest it, make it happen. And let me tell you, if I manifested this, I was unaware. And I will hand it back. Because this sucks. And I don't know what to do with it. And what if this anticipatory stress I have is the thing that's causing me the most unrest? What if I can attend to it whenever I feel it? Notice when I'm in the fear of uncertainty. Not deny it. Not try to manifest differently. What if right now, how can I plan life? I can't. Not really in the bigger picture. And what if it's possible? I'm not meant to. What if it's possible? I'm meant to get a taste of a different kind of life. I've always had all these goals and plans in place. And right now, I bet I can cross most of those New Year's resolutions off. And probably most of my goals. Because these are uncertain times. And what if all the goals and plans have gone out the window? Because maybe I'm meant to see life a little differently. What if, as I deal with the fear of my uncertainty, I start to relax more? And what if decisions start to get made through me rather than by me? And what if life starts to unfold in a very different way than I'm used to? But what if somehow it's easier? What if somehow it feels better? Even if it feels unfamiliar. What if I'm really meant to start seeing life differently? I'm meant to start seeing goals differently. What if instead of me planning my life, a perfect plan unfolds? As I relieve the stress and fear I feel around all this uncertainty. And what if I'm meant to see or open up to the idea that there actually could be a divine plan in place here that's really taken over? And what if, by doing my part of attending to all my fears around uncertainty and finding relief from that, what if I open up to greater possibilities than I've ever imagined? I don't even have to believe this yet. But what if it could be possible? I kind of like that idea a lot. And that idea sure feels better than all the terror and fear I might have around a life plan that I've made, goals that maybe I've set that don't seem to have much of a chance in hell right now of coming into being. And what if that's by design? In spite of all the uncertainty. So take a breath. If that resonated with you, go back and tap on it as many times as you need to. Years ago, I saw this. It was kind of a cute little movie called My Life in Ruins. And it's in Greece. And the woman who's running the tour buses, she has this whole goals plan, all this stuff. Her life's mapped out for her. And she ends up meeting the bus driver's Greek, and there's all this judgment about the fact that he's a bus driver and doesn't he have any goals for his life? Doesn't he have any aspirations? Doesn't he want more for his life? And they're talking about that. She says it to him and he looks at her, and it's always stuck with me. And he goes, how can you plan life? And it's just, I invite you to consider that idea of not, it's just consider it. I'll leave it at that. Just sit with that and go, whoa. Because what if it's possible? Many of us got wired backwards, and all the stuff that we've been taught to we believe is the truth isn't. What if it's possible? Just something to consider. And what if, when you attend to your fear of the uncertainty and you start to relax, and there's so much more quiet all around the planet right now. I mean, the air is clearing everywhere. What if, inspired thoughts, something's going to come to you that you're like, I never thought about that before. And that's guidance and direction. And then you take, when the time is ready, when you know it's the right time, it's like, I'm going to take inspired action on that in that moment. Right now, pretty much everyone that I know is on lockdown survival mode. And the tremendous upside of that is the inward journey. That if you're even semi-conscious, you're taking. And who knows what can come from that inward journey. I was actually talking to my sister this morning, and then I'll leave you guys with this. She was telling me about a documentary they were watching called Planet Ocean. And it talked about, these were scientists talking about that nature, doesn't like a lot of imbalances. And like I said, the thought came to me the other day that Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, was like, enough. And what they said in this is the scientists have talked about when things start to get really out of balance, that things come in to sort of level the playing field. And her and I were, she was telling me that. I'm like, well, it certainly makes sense to me. And I'm not telling anyone, oh, you should believe that. You have to decide for yourself. But if you could just consider the idea as you attend to the fear of the uncertainty, what if there is a perfect plan that is actually unfolding? And what if you are part of, history, where something's unfolding here that is completely different and so much better for everyone. And I know that may sound however it sounds in spite of the deaths and all of that. And I always remember all, the people that die from pollution every year, the children that die of starvation and all of that. And there's a lot of imbalances. And what if, as you attend to the emotions that come up for you, all of a sudden just information comes to you and you're like, whoa. And it brings you peace, and it makes you realize, I'm not in this alone. Even though we're all in this together, you can still feel like you're in it alone, especially if you're isolated by yourself. But what if really in some ways you're meant to reconnect to some source bigger than yourself? So just food for thought. Marti, great to see you both. And I will post this, and it'll be on YouTube as well. And see you tomorrow for day 9. Bye-bye.